What's going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bringing you guys one of two videos today. I'm just saying it right now. Expect another video to come later in the day because we had a bunch of news come out of the weekend. But I wanted to start, of course, with my recap for Kings vs. Queens Summer Madness, Kings vs. Queens 5/SM14, an event that obviously I have given all types of hell. I've been unhappy with multiple things from the promotion to the matchmaking, all that, and now that the results of the event are out, it was okay. It was a decent event. I can't lie. It definitely had some things that happened that I kind of could foresee happening in terms of low points of the night. So some of those predictions came true. However, there was definitely some standout highs. There was some key performances, a couple key just like really good battles that did come out of the event. So we're going to cover all that real quick. Also want to say that in terms of the kind of logistics of the event, let's say, long ass intermissions. I mean, it's been a minute since I felt like URL had OD intermissions every battle. Used to be a lot more common in my opinion, but this event definitely brought that back and in a small room. So how does that work? Not always. I know sometimes it's really the battlers showing up to the venue and getting ready more times than not, but either way, intermissions were death, and I know a lot of people were unhappy about the initial delay. Event started like an hour and a half after it was supposed to start, right? However, this did get moved to a Sunday event, and it let me finish the first slate of football games. And they had 10 games in what's the 10 a.m. window here on the West Coast. So even though it's actually not a good thing, I gotta say I appreciate you, Smack. I appreciate you for letting me finish that real quick. But like I said, there is some key points in the night, battle-wise and performance-wise, and there's some things that we got to talk about, not necessarily as positive. So let's just start with the first battle. So first battle was Official versus TTop, and this is kind of one of those more low point battles that I was speaking on, and I thought it started decent though. I thought Official's first was pretty solid, and this is a battle that when it was going down in New Orleans as planned on a stage, I did have Official winning going in because that is a humongous advantage for her. She's one of those, I always say, battlers that don't often get home games. When they end up getting those home games, it's like double the home field advantage because their fans rarely get to see them at the crib. But then when you just bring it to a small room, the Orlando studio, just based off more of the ability, TTop has been better lately, and TTop is just a better all-around battler. So I thought while while Official had a pretty good first punching, TTop was just better. He reached higher highs. I thought he performed a little bit more smooth with it. I just clearly had him up 1-0, but it wasn't like an atrocious start or anything. And then the second round happened, and TTop had an angle about Official cooking chicken in the Airbnb. It is one of the worst angles I have heard this year, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he had like a batter bar out of it. He knew what he was doing. He knew he was wrong for that one. But I'll tell you what, even though Official went on to win this second round, this is where the issues started to come out for her. A little more stumbly. The breath control, which has kind of always been something for the last few years that people have, said is off with Official. In this battle, it showed more than it did in the last couple. So Official won the second just because it was really hard not to, outside of maybe if you choked. She did have some witty lines in there, but, the second round is not high quality in this battle. And then the third is funny because you get TTop, in my opinion, his best round of the battle. Angling, but just picking better topics, on that note, punching back to back, which is just, I think for TTop in this battle, just being performative and punching, we go to a smaller room. I think he could just do that to win the battle. So when you mix in the comedy and the other tricks, it creates a round that I didn't feel like Official could reach. And then on top of that, Official's third is her worst round of the battle. At that point, she just kind of ran out of gas. The breath control was really tough. Both of them felt like stumbled in the third, but I mean, it was much more constant with her, and content-wise, her worst round of the battle. So I did have TTop winning 2-1 in an opener, and it's for someone that was worried about this event. It's starting late, so you're seeing people on the timeline get mad at it, you know what I'm saying? But then after that, you get Nitty versus Viixen, and this is one of the high points of the night. This is a battle that I always thought it would be pretty good because just a punch fest. Like, how bad can a punch fest be at the end of the day? People were just knowing that they're going to hear good bars in the battle, but you move it to the smaller room. What are small rooms good for? Bar fest, punch fest. That's exactly how this played out. This battle is great. In my opinion, it is the battle of the night. even though it happened quite early on the card. And there is, I'd say, one other battle that could probably contend for it. But this was just good work on both sides. But particularly, I'm going to say right now, this is the best Viixen the Assassin ever. Like, across all 3 rounds, she has other great performances. Maybe that Mean Mortar career will be memorable. I know people love the Casey performance, DNA performance. But I'm talking about, like, really all 3 rounds being like 8 out of 10 or better. That's the type of, she stepped her pen up. She's already been a great puncher and she's been in great form lately, but just writing wise, some of her best writing, her best writing. I'm just gonna say it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, across all 3 rounds, she performed with it. She angled with it. She had the comedy with it. She's very confident. Out-rapped them time-wise, but it wasn't like crazy egregious either. You know what I'm saying? Like some things that we've seen lately in battle rap. Just really good. And then, of course, Nitty was great as well. And in terms of how I called the battle, the first round, I thought Viixen was good. I thought she was really good, like I said. I thought Nitty was amazing. Like, his first is going to go down as one of the better, probably top 5 rounds of the night. Really, really good. I saw some people calling that round close. In my opinion, it's a good round from both, but it's a good to a great round. So I had Nitty up 1-0. And then in the second round of the battle, for many people, this is what it's coming down to, because Viixen, in my opinion, had a better round than her first. Stepped it up. That's where the angling started to take more at play, hitting the highs on some more of the haymakers. And with Nitty, I thought his first half of his second was cool, but started a little slow in comparison, of course, to Viixen's. The thing is, the back half of his second round is like incredible. The JFK, and he's had a lot of JFK bars, but the JFK assassinated in the back seat, probably maybe the best one of them. You know what I'm saying? He had another one too that was like a bomb. So he had one of those where he just ended on the bombs of the round. However, I thought Viixen had the more consistent round. I pretty comfortably, I guess, edged her the second. Like, Nitty still had a great round, but I did have Viixen taking that second. And the third round of the battle, to me, is the clearest round of the battle. As it tends to be kind of, Nitty's thirds can sometimes be his shortest, be the round he takes a step back, which he did. But Viixen was probably just as somewhere between her first and her second in terms of quality. Like, really just that good all 3, to the point that Nitty can't, you would think going into this matchup, and maybe on a big stage, he could have afforded to have that, like, 2.5, 3 minutes on the dot third, where he's just, you know what I'm saying, he's already given 2 great rounds. And listen, people are, I saw he was winning the voting polls. People are going to debate that he won this battle. Even though I will say, with these intergender battles, people, we do have a very hard time admitting sometimes when the guy's lost. It's not, I'm not even that big of a fan of intergender battles, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to die on this hill crazy. I don't feel that passionate, but we have a hard time doing it. And I had Viixen taking the third and winning the battle 2-1 overall, second and third. Like I said, one of the best battles of the night and a super duper career highlight for Viixen versus a very good Rum Nitty. But now we have to talk about John versus Coffee, which I thought going in was my battle of the night pick. Love the matchup. I will say it wasn't battle of the night now that it's happened, but it also wasn't a low light or really anything negative. I just thought it was a solid battle. Like, I think amongst the quality, it would just file right there in the middle of the card. And in terms of I called the winner, very competitive. I did have the first 2 rounds splitting pretty clearly, though. I had Coffee in the first, who I just thought had a better round. Like, I just thought it was her strongest round of the battle. I thought it was John's weakest round of the battle. I thought it was solid. You know what I mean? It's not that this round was bad. However, like, at a top tier level, solid is beatable. It just is what it is. And I know that Coffee refers to herself as like an unorthodox pen. Like, if you asked her style and lane, she'd probably claim that. She showed that in the first. I just thought that she barred him away. However, complete flip in the second. I just thought John had a better second. There's really no particular one feature that I thought changed it. I just thought all around he had a better round. And then the third round of the battle, they both went very angle heavy, very character assassination heavy, particularly Coffee, who I think is turning, like I said, calls herself just a flat out pen, but is just turning into more of an all around battle rapper. I would have loved to have seen if like the growth and development performance-wise on the stage, the way this battle was originally set up, because that's really one of the last few question marks for her. However, you know what I'm saying, still did really good in the third here. If somebody has Coffee in the third, first and third, winning the battle 2-1, I'm not mad at it. It's one of the most debatable rounds of the night in any battle, in my opinion. I did edge John the battle 2-1, second and third, though. I thought Coffee angled really good in portions, high peaks at times. I thought she went through so many angles, though, kind of in one round. At times, little bit lost. Sometimes it didn't feel like every topic was fully fleshed out. But like I said, there was peaks. So if someone has her winning that third, I'm not mad at it. But I thought John angled and punched as well. A little bit clear, a little bit organized and better paced. And I also saw, though, John had a comment, something on Twitter like, J Smo's the worst, you know what I'm saying? And soon I'm going to make a call to action for him. Brother, we can't even make a call to action for like important shit in battle rap. You know what I'm saying? I'm the last one to have to tell you. You know that. I see you upset about it. So I doubt that there's going to be a call to action to get rid of J Smo when I'm really just here recapping battles, man. I'm really just here giving my takes on battles. You're going to be okay. Everybody is going to be okay. And then from there, we have Twork versus Jazz the Rapper, which I thought was also one of the high points of the night. I thought it was a very good battle. I thought both of them were very, very good in this battle. However, I do have one battler taken off with performance of the night in this one, and that is Jazz the Rapper. And listen, Rock, like I said, Rock is good in all three, and we'll go round by round with this one. First round, I thought Rock was good. I thought Rock was like 7, 8 out of 10 good. Like, I think it was a very formidable opening round. But Jazz does what Jazz has been doing in these top-tier male matchups. Her first is bananas. You know what I'm saying? Her first is, she goes ballistic. It's like a 10 out of 10. It's her at her peak. The haymakers that she's hitting, she's angling, she's jumping in different pockets, but she's giving like her best version of all of it. I think her first is like, it's like really an all-time highlight round for Jazz, similar to how her first was versus Nitty, or her first versus Charlie Clips, her first versus Twork. She just knows how to start these battles off well. So I did have her up 1-0 pretty clear. Now in the second they go, I thought Rock took it up even another level in the second round. I think Rock's second is great. You know what I'm saying? Rapping ability wise, I actually say at this point, for a guy that's been based mainly off of like punching, gun bar on the death performance, the actual pockets he's hitting is really, it's damn near his best quality at this point. He is such a good pure rapper. These long rhyme schemes that he's holding back to back, sometimes 32, 48 bars long, it's ridiculous. But I thought Jazz was just that good, dog. I thought her second was just as good as her first. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And it's crazy because we've heard, people talk about how many times we've heard angles against Rock, and there is some times that she revisited the well. I mean, as anyone is going to battling Rock with some of these angle choices, but there was a lot of originality in there too. Like, I thought it was an extremely creative, locked-in performance. Also helps she rapped a bit longer. You know what I'm saying? Not egregious, not double time, anything like that, but it's obviously something that happened. And when you're both rapping it near 100, I mean, for me, someone pretty much at 100 in this battle, and then you're rapping more content of that, that's just going to help. So I had Jazz pretty comfortably up 2-0 after 2 rounds, man, to be honest with you. And I'd say the closest in this battle is the third. I thought both of them, once again, really good, but went more entertainment heavy. Obviously, Rock did a big-headed, he did like body bitch, but it was big-headed bitch, so he did that, which I'm sure will go viral at some point. Punch crazy in the third, too. But I'm going to be real, I had Jazz, I guess if this is the closest, I would say Edge, but I pretty comfortably had her win in the third too, man, to be honest with you. So I did have Jazz 3-0. This does not mean that Rock had a bad performance. I know a 3-0 is going to sound so harsh, and I saw that Rock was upset he unfollowed me. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of love for Rock. I thought he was very, very good in this battle, but this speaks more to Jazz's greatness in this particular battle than anything else. I was just that impressed with some of the heights she's reached, and especially since I have not been a fan of Jazz versus the top-tier men, the catalog battles it's given. It's not like maybe 1 or 2 of them are kind of ass, but it's not that they're all bad. It's just worse usually than what she gives the women in those matchups. Those are her iconic performances, but these 3 rounds for Rock, about as good as any of the 3 rounds she's given to some of these ladies, and that's why I had her with the 30 and the performance of the night. And I know that everyone's immediate thought is, how does this affect Rock's Cody run? I mean, right when the battle ended, I probably got like 6 to 7 messages straight up asking for that, what's your thoughts on it immediately. And here's what I will say, right, is that Rock, for me, has been number 1, and by a gap, to be honest with you, for pretty much all of the year. But you're starting to see Av and John, even though Av's been making noise. I mean, I feel like we've been talking about Av and John for a minute, but especially with their recent performances, like they have a lot of momentum going into the conversation. People see it as kind of that three-man race. And I have Rock taking a clear loss. Obviously, that doesn't help. He's really good in the battle, so there's something to be attributed to that. But I do have him losing. But people, when they say how does it affect it, yeah, it puts a dent in his case, but it's about the size of the dent. Do I feel like since Rock lost last night and I have John winning, that he jumps him? No. Like, there's still a great gap of work, and I feel like whenever someone's perceived as number one, you then watch their every move a lot more than everyone else's, or for the sake of making it interesting, forget what they've done. I personally, just my take, still have him beating Bill Collector, Big K. I did personally have him lose an award, but he won in a judge battle. Good battle. I had him beating Loso, Sirius Jones, Jerry West. That's not even attributing the side missions, which don't really super, the bankheads and the preps. None of that is like super building it. But when you add them all together, you know what I'm saying? It's a little something to sprinkle on top. So he's done a lot of great. And one loss does not make me think, oh man, like he just drops immediately. As of right now, I still perceive Rock as the number one frontrunner for the award. However, a pathway develops when losses like that happen, right? Maybe the doors opened up more where if Av or John have a couple more big battles, obviously we know John has one coming up, and they're incredible in it, maybe they close that gap, right? Like, I can't speak to the future, but I do not think because Tay-Rock lost, it's like he's no longer number one. And I know that for many people, that is like an immediate reaction. But then from there, you just have the last two battles of the night, which to me, quick and easy to call. I Twork and 40, a battle that I had Twork smoking, right? 3-0. It didn't really turn out like that. It's not a very good battle, truth be told. Really too much on either side. I thought 40 was okay. Her first round is dope. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a level above decent. I think it's solid. I don't like her pace in this battle. However, I don't like the pace of really either of them in this battle. Twork goes in the first, and some people are calling this round debatable. I don't see it. I actually think Twork delivers his cleanest and his most powerful round in the first round of this battle. I don't think there's really too much to talk about in this one. Once again, nothing really against 40. I thought, like, in the first, she was solid. But the thing is, Twork is going to match you on content, which he does in the first, and then he's going to have the energy and outperform and do things of that nature. And I can't really, people want to get on Twork for his pace, but they're both stumbling through the whole battle. So it's not really too much to look at either way. You get to the second round of this battle, I just thought it was a clearer version of the first. This time, I wouldn't say 40 chokes, but cuts her second kind of awkwardly or abruptly at the end. And you start to see Twork stumbling a little bit more himself, but still had that content of the first round power-wise. I had him up pretty clear 2-0 going into the third. And then the third, you can go either way with it because both of them barely got the round out. You know what I'm saying? I guess that 40 got more of her round out, but she was stumbling all over the place. Twork had like a couple near chokes himself. So the third is a mess. To be honest with you, I got Twork winning the battle 2-0, and it's almost like I don't want to count the third. But Twork 2-1, Twork 3-0, however you want to call it. One kind of at the same level he was in his past battle, but kind of not really because he was a lot more stumbly in this one. So one of the more disappointing battles of the night. And then Hustle versus Geechi actually ended up ending the night. And it was decent. You know what I'm saying? A bit better than I expected. Obviously, I wasn't a fan of the matchup. And it was kind of also what I expected in terms of Geechi half cared, in my opinion. Because his second, he's freestyled. He's all over the place. But he had a good first. He had a respectable third round. And the people that want to debate that Gotti won, they have a pretty good case for it. I had him winning the first round of the battle. It was an edge, but I feel pretty comfortable calling that way. Both of their firsts were their best rounds of the battle, in my personal opinion. The second round of the battle, like I said, Hustle was cool, but Geechi, that was his throwaway one, freestyling, rebuttal and everything, kind of joking. And then the third round of the battle, to me, it's extremely competitive. At first, I thought Geechi had kind of checked out, but by the second half of his third, he was angling the whole post up. Why don't you ever post your fiance angle? I thought that was dope. However, I thought Hustle took a good angle too with the whole coffee, letting coffee rep, even though she's not actually down. I thought that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I thought both of them took good approaches. Personally, though, I edged Hustle the third round of the battle. Like I said, I can completely see it being Gotti 2-1. Wasn't a great battle, but kind of like John and Coffee, just thought it was solid. But that is my full thoughts here for Kings versus Queens Summer Madness, an event that I expected to maybe be like maybe a 3 or 4 out of 10 quality wise. I can say it was maybe a 6 out of 10 in my personal opinion. Maybe someone could argue 7 or 5, right? But it's definitely a couple points above what I expected. You get a battle of the night, in my opinion, with Nitty and Viixen. Although Jazz and Rock was really good too. I had it by a more clear margin, but that doesn't change both of those battles quality wise from both sides of the battle were both very good. And then you have battles like John and Coffee and Geechi and Hustle that I don't feel like take away too much from the card. You know what I'm saying? At the very least, are solid. And then only a couple battles that I felt really missed the mark. I think the small room also helped with the competitive aspect of this. I do believe it was on the stage. Some of these results may be clearer for the men simply because it takes a different level on that stage and they have so many more reps up there. But you deal with what you deal with, and who knows, maybe this actually helped the quality of the event and ended up being a good move in the long run. But I want to hear your guys' opinions. Like I said, I had Nitty and Viixen battle of the night. I had Jazz's performer of the night. Who was your battle of the night? Who was your performer of the night? What takes do you agree with and disagree with? And keep an eye out because, like I said, K-Shine's return battle got announced. Cassidy versus John got announced. And I have a full set of thoughts for that you'll be seeing later today. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.